wrapping up my line work, or getting most of the line work done, and then maybe I might start shading. I don't know yet. I thought maybe I would, at the very least, tape the outside borders, so I may or may not shade today. I don't have my tape with me, so I think after I get line work done, I will tape the drawing tomorrow and work on it then. But right now I'm just going to focus on getting most of the line work done. I don't know where I was at previously. I was somewhere around here with the eye. I'm kind of jumping around currently. I think I'm about done with a lot of the information regarding the eye. I think the rest of it's going to be developed through adding shadows or shading and value. And then I'll use that information, or use the shading and value, to kind of dictate where I'm going to go with it next. But right now I think I'm almost done with the majority of the line work per se. And I'm keeping the line work rather light, so if you can't really see it, I apologize. It's how it is. I don't want to have to do a significant amount of erasing. Actually, I would even argue that the grid itself is probably a little bit too dark for its own good. And I will take that note whenever I start another grid drawing. I think what I'm going to do is I need to start working on mission drawing again. I took a little break because I needed some time to work on the Celtic knots, something I'm not really too familiar with. And since I have been working on Celtic knots, sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. I'm trying to think where I'm at with my line work. So I gotta do some work on the outside of my live streams. I need to do a little bit of research and watch a few videos and do some practice in my sketchbook before I continue working on my commission piece. Eventually I'll get back to showing my commission piece live, but right now I need to kind of put that on the side because I need to watch videos and watch how-to videos and do a live stream at the same time, or at least not well. And if I'm going to focus on just doing one or the other, I'm going to focus on doing the studies outside of my live streams. But that won't stop me from doing this type of drawing here. I don't know where I'm at here. I'm just kind of like kind of moving around here, guessing where the value is with regards to shadows and such. So what's interesting about this area, these shapes here, they don't really have like hard edges to them. They have relatively soft edges, which makes it hard for me to like determine where I want to add contour lines to the drawing. Hey, how you doing? So that's why you might in this drawing you might see some things that don't seem very clear, and the reason why they're not very clear is because I want to keep those edges kind of soft, so that I remind myself that when I'm working on the drawing, I'm not gonna. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of drawing a blank again. Jeez Louise, I'm like brain right. To remind myself that I don't want to put an extremely hard edge onto the image. So that's why you may be wondering why those lines are kind of soft. It's because I don't want them to become the strong hard edge, because they're not hard edged shapes. You know, they're relatively, so that's why I'm also doing my lines kind of light and they're not crisp lines, okay? They're not really crisp lines, so I'm keeping the lines very soft. And when you get better at drawing, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Like right now, it might be a rather I got a broom behind me and I'm going to knock it and it's going to knock over just stuff. It might be a rather foreign idea for you because, oops, I draw into my drawing, because you might be used to like cartoons or and those would be considered very hard edged drawings. Like they're extremely contour line based, and they use a lot of crisp lines to define form. Paintings don't always have that apparent. They don't always have a hard contour line in the image. The contour line that is being formed by them is mainly through the difference of contrast. So that's why I'm leaving the lines rather soft, and I'm not being extra aggressive with my marks. And if you're wondering why everything looks so light, that is why. It's also a way to safeguard myself, to save me from myself as an artist, because I know I have a tendency to draw rather heavy. When you're first starting out, I know, like, I think every person, when they first start drawing, they draw really heavy, you know, and then and you'll miss this too, because, you know, the reason why you draw really heavy is because you've been brought up to write letters and to do cursive or just to write letters, and you can't do soft letters. You know, you can't make soft letters. It look weird. It looked like if the alphabet was in a mist, you know, and so you can't do that. It's how you've been brought up, and so you're not used to this idea, this notion of soft and hard edges. And as time goes on, you get better at that. You will get better at it. You know, or you can make a whole art career out of creating works that are very hard edged, that are strictly contour lines. I mean, every comic artist makes a living off of doing that. There are comic artists that utilize soft edges. I think the one that pops up in my mind right now is Alex Ross, and the reason why he has soft, hard edges is because he uses like gouache in painting, so he takes more of a traditional approach. So that's the reason why his work has soft and hard edges, but his drawings have aspects of soft and hard edges. All right, so I think this is okay. This is getting there. I think I need to at least define the hairline and define where I see some of the hair that's happening on this side here. You can't see. I don't even know where the hair begins. Like, I can't tell if it's right here or if it's above the ear, because the photo itself is super, like, I can't tell the hairline, or is this the hairline, you know? It could be a little bit of both. That could be like, those could be like hanging bangs on her head, you know? It's hard to tell when you're drawing from a painting. Hard to take this, a painting like this, and then convert it into a drawing. That's that's a really tricky thing. It's easy and like, as an idea, like, take this drawing and then take this painting and then make it into a drawing. Oh no, I almost broke my pencil. And then you start doing it, and wow, you start noticing how challenging it is. Because as I said, you're transferring two different mediums. You're converting a painting into a drawing. You're taking the inherent qualities of paint, which is the ability to make really pronounced soft and hard edges rather easily compared to pencil. And then you're trying to recreate that same effect via pencil, you know? And that's challenging. That's a challenging endeavor. And it's a worthwhile endeavor. If you find it worthwhile, that's cool. So right here, I'm just kind of arc lines here. I don't know how much I want it to show. I think that's enough information for me. You may not see it. You may not see the lines. Yes, see the lines, but they're there. Um, it's good that you can't see the lines, because if you could see the lines in the live stream, that means it probably means that my lines are way too heavy. It probably means that I'm applying too much pressure on my pencil, and I need to probably dial it back, and that's okay. So I mean, it's not exciting for the viewer, because you look, you see what's happening, you're watching, and you're like, nothing's happening. There's barely anything happening on the paper, because I can barely see marks, and I see the marks, but barely too. Like, you want them to be very vague. You want them to be transparent. You don't want too heavy. You don't want them to kind of like bite you later on in the drawing, meaning that you don't want them to cause problems later on. Like, oh my gosh, I made these lines way too dark. Now I got to them and soften them up a little bit, because they're causing me a little bit more grief than I'd like, you know? And so focusing on. So if I get this area done, I think this is good enough for me to work with. Maybe I might do a few things. There's like little weird things happening, like subtle hue changes or value changes, and that's happening on the below the hairline, or on the hair, that I should add. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add some lines here. I think something like this. And these are supposed to signify like the tonal changes that are happening in the hair. Because there's like small little subtle little things happening. It's vague. They're not very pronounced, but they're there. And I'm going to add there just so that I can use them as reference. I don't know how much they're going to really take effect until I start working on the shading down here, but it's good to at least have them there as a full like reminder that, oh, this is what I was thinking at the time. This is what I was thinking at the time, and we're gonna go from there, you know. So I'm just kind of making these lines here, making lines to where I think I see tonal changes in the hair. Normally I don't do this. Actually, I need to go over here. I need to go over here and at least semi-complete this area. Now this is also tricky as well, because here there's lines that are happening. They're really, really soft, you know. As a matter of fact, I kind of noticed that I messed up a little bit. I think I went generous on this area, and I think the reason why is because I hadn't done a grid drawing in a while, and I started this grid drawing. Where's my brush? Well, I need a brush. I had my grid drawing a while ago, and I started working on this drawing. Drawn from a grid in a while, so I haven't been very, like, my eyes haven't been accustomed to looking at a square shape and making visual relationships in that manner. But I think I started doing 2 grid drawings. So this is my second one. I'm starting to see things a little bit clearer. I'm a little bit more effective with how I'm making my visual relationships. It also could have been that I had a photo that was worse than this photo. Like, this photo might have been printed out later on, and maybe I was using a photo that wasn't as good as this one, and that could have led to me making the visual errors that I did. So I think the hair, something looks kind of like this. It's probably not like, it's not this. It's just, it's actually more faded, you know, and it's more softer edge than this. And that's fine. I'm gonna figure out how I can capture that soft appearance. And that's gonna be tricky. That's gonna be a tricky little thing. Because I'm not really known. I'm not really known for like my really subtle value changes. I'm not the greatest at it. And so this is going to be a new thing for me. I'm not known as like I'm not really a realist artist either. Like I can do it fairly confidently. I can do it fairly well. What's the question? I can do it fairly well, but like I'm not the greatest at it. I tend to make errors. All right. Excuse me. So we got the ear going down here. Feel free, if you have a question, feel free to ask. I'll see if I can answer it. Unless you're like trolling me. I always get like people trolling me. Say this word. I'm like, what's going on? Say this word. That's not a question. That's me telling me to do something. I actually did that in Twitch, and then I got like kicked off. So, like, what the heck? How did I get kicked off? And then I was like, oh, these guys, these people, they got me. They burned me good. Like it was like play on words, man. It was pretty good. I got it. I really enjoyed it though. I thought it was really funny. Excuse me. Sorry guys. I'm also fighting off a pretty bad cold. So I'm kind of fighting that off at the moment. And let's see here. So I don't know how this is gonna look. It looks like over here, it kind of does a weird little shape here. I'm just gonna make it like a soft shape right now. I don't know what shape it is because it's like light and dark. That's really what it looks like. Just like a dark tone and a light shape, you know. It's dark and less dark. That's really what it looks like. It's dark and less dark. You know, how less dark it is, that's really kind of subjective, you know? And so that's what I'm kind of dealing with at the moment. Is like how dark is this? You know, something like that, I think. And I think that's it. But for posterity's sake, since I still have technically 10 more minutes, I'm still gonna work on this a little bit, kind of playing around, seeing if I can find any more marks I can use to kind of define shape, you know, or define a tonal shift. So there's some things happening in this ear that I can kind of mark. I actually think I did the ear a little small, honestly. I think I could probably shrink this down, or it looks like I could probably bring this in a little bit, which means I can bring this in, which would make the ear a little bit bigger, because the ear was, I think I made it a little too narrow. The small little things like that I can play. I think that helped. See here, maybe go ahead and erase some things here. Like that. There we go. Making some progress here. And let's see. We're gonna go ahead and there's some shapes happening on the hair that signify a difference in value. Something like that. think something like that would be good. There you go. And let's go ahead and we're just going to make some marks here. Right here. I feel like there's a weird curving shape, like a shape happening in the hairline here. It kind of goes inwards like that, and maybe underneath it there's a very small gap, but there's a gap. Yeah, I probably, I don't know. I'm kind of pulling at strings here right now, threads. Just gonna make some marks here. And I think I am I'm where I need to be. I think I think I have, what you call it? I don't know. What am I doing? I am drawing. I think I'm about done, actually. There's stuff happening here that's like, it's all like faint, very faint, and I might be better served by just slowly building up the value in those areas, and then like gauging where I need to go. Maybe I could do a few things, maybe something underneath the chin, like there's some lines being made here that I could probably just kind of do a little bit of some marks, something like that. Very subtle. Yeah, I think I might be ready to start working on shading, which, yeah, at the stage. Otherwise, I'm like pulling at strings. I'm really might just have to jump into it and start working on it. Yeah, I might have to do that fairly soon. Fairly soon. There's a few things I want to do first. Some lines here. All right, I think that's good. And then there's some lines happening here. Normally I don't put this stuff in here, but I thought, why not? Let's stay true to the actual piece, you know, and actually put the in there. You know, why not? Stay true to it. Actually put the background in there for good measure, and then we can go for it. I think that's it. I think I am going to end it. I want to start shading. I'll start shading real soon. Yeah, I'm going to start shading real soon. And by real soon, I'm going to start shading tomorrow, I think. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I got to get going. You all have a wonderful night.